How you doing, Key? How's everything going?
Yeah, it's been a good day. Got some interviews done. We're setting up for another academy in a week and a half. Trying to think of anything else. Yourself? How's the toll booth been going?
What'd you say? Oh, we're going hard on New Babylon. Once they're out, listen, the kitty gloves are off when dealing with New Babylon. If they leave that compound, pushing into there's a completely different story.
Yeah, I heard that there was some trouble afoot. How'd that go?
Oh, it was horrible. I fucking absolutely, God, Key, you would have been proud of me. I smoked two of them right in their fucking face as soon as they tried to shoot me.
Really? Let's go.
Yeah, I spun on them, and I really gave it to them.
I got folded like a fucking ironing board.
He
by
got ran over by
Dominator.
that fucking Dominator going like 200 miles per hour.
Yeah, I heard.
What are your thoughts?
I heard some. No, I heard some stories that apparently we were up on the wall. You know, like slowly pushing in. That's what I was told.
Oh, you're talking about this morning?
Yeah, that one.
Oh no, that's something completely different. So we found somebody with 4 bricks of heroin in his car, and it's like, look, I can't not go lock down cars. And it's a double-edged sword, right? Because we could go lock it down in shift 3, but I think that's fucking shitty. I think waiting until we have, so you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If we would have waited until, I think the whole thing with going into New Babylon while there's less people in there is dog shit, and we need to do it when it comes across our desk. If we end up getting shot, so be it.
Also, if we're gonna fuck people, they at least need to see who's doing it.
Yeah,
right? Like
the thing is, if we're gonna fuck people, and if we're gonna get fucked, we might as well just fucking do it right then and there.
No, fair enough.
So that was it. The reason I asked to talk to you guys is I was informed that there's like a disconnect between Shift 1 Command and you guys. We have I've been talking to Rhodes and members of High Command to get some new things implemented, and I wanted to be transparent with you guys and fill you in.
What is the disconnect?
Oh, I had the conversation with Key about the new changes, which is what we're about to mention, and Key didn't have any knowledge of it. So I just wanted to make sure a conversation was had with you guys so that you guys were also aware.
I think the disconnect, really, the reality is that we just don't see them on occasion, right? So if something happens on a Tuesday, I may not find out until a Thursday unless it's documented in a high command report. That's just the reality. We have officers that are present in shift 1, but if it's a high command from the top down, unfortunately, unless it's absolutely pivotal, I'll probably hear about it in a report or a day after. That's just the reality.
Yeah,
Vinny was very good when he was sheriff because I would get a daily recap of anything I missed in shift 1.
I'm not trying, like, this isn't like me trying to shit on anybody's department, by the way. I think it's kind of more matter of fact, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like, oh
no,
my
of
God.
course.
Yeah, I think this is a collective high command thing as well. It's not like, you know, we in the BCSO were deciding. It was all of us and all 3 departments discussed this, agreed upon it, and just waiting on final touches.
Cool. We are going, so I spoke with Rhodes this morning, and we're going to try to do like a joint LSPD, BCSO, and if ODPD wants to be there, ODPD command thing, where we get together and hash out some of the issues. But in my command, I gave them kind of a heads up just out of like transparency on everything. The first thing I wanted to talk about is bank trucks. So for bank trucks, hold on, pull up the report really quick. Typed it up this morning. I think we're going to, actually, I don't think we're going to be changing the way we respond to bank trucks right now, because I'm not sure how it is for you guys, but a lot of times we end up going in there and it turns into like 40 units and we're bashing our heads into the fucking walls, and we could be there for essentially 2 to 3 hours at a time, and the rest of the city suffers. So what we're going to do is basically attempt to de-escalate a little bit. I know that obviously it's high profile and multiple gangs can shoot over that. If that's the case and we don't have the officers to go in there, then it's like, you know, we can just roll in and collect evidence. But I'm just going to read it as is right now. Wait. Oh, you can see this key.
Yeah, I can see it. I read through this already. Ruby and Oxby haven't, because I got on duty, listened to interviews. So this is fresh for them.
Okay. So I typed it up. I could read it to you guys. Actually, you know what? I could just drop it down to a command report so you guys could check it out really quick. I could just
Yeah, that'd be good.
There you go. It's a command report now.
Appreciate it.
Is just for, out of curiosity's sake, is that the fundamental of this? Like the fact that we're allotting too many people and too much time to these calls, 2 to 3 hours?
Okay, so it's a
Because I feel like
multifaceted issue here.
there's more than that.
So yeah, 2 to 3. What ends up happening is sending 40 units in, it becomes a fucking meat grinder. The rest of the city suffers. Officers lay on the ground for 3 hours plus. They have in the past, I should say, laid on the ground for over 3 hours in this situation, like in these scenes, and it's just, it doesn't seem like it seems counterproductive to policing the rest of the city. Is probably the biggest issue in itself. Also, I mean, you have officers. I don't know how it is in this shift, but I know there's a majority of the officers in shift 1 who would just rather not respond to bank trucks.
We have a good mix. There's some that would like to. There's some that hate them. So yeah, I personally like it. Skimming it, it all makes sense to me. I think that is really, really, really good. And I think that this aligns with some of the Rosner. I mean, you've heard me talk about this. Some of the stuff with TRT. This gives an in for TRT to have a TRT kind of related call.
I wish that TRT was like the bank truck response team.
That's kind of what I mean. Is you can apply tactics to it in this way. Then that would be decent.
You know what I mean? The thing is Rhodes brought this up. He doesn't want it like limited to TRTs. The thing, but. I
think
definitely
that
the thing
leading
it doesn't need to be limited to, but yeah, the leadership thing I think should be. If we're gonna narrow down the amount of units to respond and people are opting into something, it needs to be led by people that are capable of, well, or attempting to, learning to, or need to be leading it. Otherwise, it slams to the slaughter. The thing I will mention is that all of these things I'm more than happy for, because again, a lot of people don't like this, and I've had hours of conversations with people in this room, the director, Ventura, of I wish there was a way to separate 78s and then another call where it's stop what you're doing. Every single officer will come, and it doesn't matter what happens because it's pivotal. You know, terrorism,
right?
You know, MRPD. You know that I always have felt that there should be a separation between someone's open fired on an officer and this is a call that requires all of us. And this is a decent step, I think, to try and get to that ideal of you don't need to be present because it can be very grating. Your life is threatened. And again, it can turn into hours on the floor. Yeah. I will say, though, for shift 2, the whole 2 to 3 hours for bank trucks is just not something that we deal with.
No.
Like that whole it's hours and hours. I've made it my life mission to get these scenes resolved as quick as humanly possible. And any person that you ask, regardless of department, will attest to that. Just last night, we had a Maibatsu building holdout, which I attached to after 13 officers were already shot down. We had the scene code 4 within 10 minutes. And the scene prior had only been going for 10 minutes. I'm not going to say that that's possible all hours of the day.
No, absolutely not.
It requires a certain type of leadership. It requires people to listen. It also just requires people to like be willing to try. But the whole 2 to 3 hours on the pavement, that's only happened to us. The last time we had a critically bad call like that, I think was maybe a month and a half ago. And before that, it would have been 2 to 3 months. Very exceedingly rare.
For like shift 1, like late shift 1, I would say that it's not rare for officers to lay on the ground for at least 2 hours. I mean, you think I'm wrong with that, Rosner? Like once a week, I think it has happened, whether it be bank trucks or
a lot, but
yeah,
not lately. Men are besties. Both of them we've had extended, long shootouts, attempted to de-escalate or find a way out, and there's just hasn't happened. Lately, it's been better. In fact, I don't think I've been to a long holdout for a little while now, but you know, these things come in waves. The same with gang-related shootings. It comes in waves. So this is just a stopgap so that when it does happen again, which I'm certain it will, we can just nip it in the bud and move on.
Can I ask for some clarity on something? So you've said a maximum of 15 units. That's vehicles, and most of the time, a vehicle has 2 people in it.
Yeah,
so even if you have 15 units, that's 30 cops.
Well, it should be okay. So the thing is, like you need like command or TRT needs to take discretion on this.
Huh.
You know what I mean? The other thing is it should be 15 units. Like we're not limiting it at cops, because then what ends up happening is if you have like, oh my god, we're one over too many.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We
true.
can't
They'll get too
respond.
literal.
And the thing is okay, this does not leave this room. It's not, this is like realistically we know that we can't enforce that number. There's errors that's going to there are errors that's going to happen. If it goes over 15, I don't think it's the end of the world, but I mean if it goes over 16, 17, 18, then we're going to have issues. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I had the same question Ruby did, and if that's the logic, what it looks like to me is we are making sure that we meet or are close to this number, and then once we've begun whatever we're doing, then it becomes and no one else attaches.
Yes,
it really is
100%. That's it.
It's the treatment of the super specialized martial calls where there's a lot of pieces in play. Do not attach. If that's the mindset, if that's the mindset, it's completely fine, because enforcing an amount of officers to respond is impossible. But what we can do is stop people responding further. And my only other follow-up question is, at the bottom, it says, if there is no safe way to collect evidence at the end, what about officers that are down? Let's say, there's 20 cops dead on a rooftop. The individuals are refusing to negotiate. What then? Right?
Okay, so
we shouldn't be negotiating. Just tell them that they can go.
Now I'm going to stop you there. I do apologize. I have had a scene in recent memory where we told them to leave and said we will not pursue, and they said no. It has happened in my tenure as a captain, which has barely been 2 months.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? So this actually raises new things. We're currently working on we're high command is working on figuring out appropriate times to airlift. Unfortunately, we can't really have that conversation in the city. It has to be done elsewhere.
Of course.
So, I mean, we right now we're discussing it. Details are we don't necessarily know. We're working on everything. I think to combat that as well is like, listen, I don't think criminals should be holding cop bodies hostage. I think that's
agree.
a pretty fucking shitty thing to do. So the airlifting we're currently working on, like that's I think the most I should say about that.
Yeah, sure. If it's TBD, that's okay. That's fine.
So the thing is, if they don't break off, like I think for these situations too, like we're getting to this point where they're like negotiating for don't collect evidence, don't do this, don't do that.
Third time.
And really what I think that is doing, I think it's inhibiting PD to be able to do its job. And it's basically deterring us from the law having consequences. So I don't think we should ever be negotiating for not collecting evidence in these scenes.
I had it with high
I'll
command.
be honest with you. About 2 months ago, it was made a rule that we will never do that. It's already been agreed upon.
Yeah,
we do not negotiate for no evidence.
So I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, look, we
had it with the BCSO, and now we're having to have it with the LSPD because
if they don't want to
the
leave,
high command or the leaderships who are in this talk,
I don't know what to tell you. They're gonna have to sit on that
to
place for the rest of eternity for us not to collect evidence on that.
I'm having meetings about meetings I've already had.
My issue right now with the PD is like I don't think criminals should necessarily fear PD as a whole, right? We're not a gang, but they should fear the consequences of the law. That being said, there's certain situations where I feel like we've been crippled, and it's not by like the city or anything. I think a lot of it comes from us. Like, hey, we're doing this, we're negotiating for that, we're letting this happen. Even I witnessed a situation with New Babylon today where I got gunned down from outside. Like I was not in New Babylon. This is a separate incident from the situation this morning, and PD kind of like grabbed me and immediately ran away. We need to find a way to empower our officers to feel like we have their backs and kind of get the bite back that we're missing. Which I know I don't think like I don't know much about shift 2.
You can speak freely. Like it's more than okay.
I don't know about this shift, but I know earlier on there's situations where it's just like we run away with our tail like between our legs. And
I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna try and keep this concise. I hate that. Genuinely, it's to the point that when I hear of some calls There was a situation in Babylon specifically about a month or two ago where Opal was there taking photos and she was shot down, and then officers went to retrieve her and they were shot at. And I was told that with 30, 20, however many shift one officers it was, they took her and left. And I said, we can't do that. Like we cannot do that. There was a scene a little bit later once I was promoted to captain where we pushed into Babylon and it did fail. And I used anything I could think of to make it so that we didn't have to push in there after they had opened fire on officers. I called and said, if you hand over the people that shot specifically, we can, work this out. They said no. I said, if you turn in the people that we originally were looking for that caused us to even go near Babylon, we can talk. They said no. Any negotiation, including abstract ones, to try and avoid violence were met with 0. And what that meant is I was leaving and they were getting no consequences. I tried to find our consequence, which I think we always should. And sometimes we're going to have to bend those, standards. But if they won't give us anything, we're not leaving until every single cop's shut down. I don't really see anything else for us to do, right? Like there's nothing else to do but to walk through the door. And I very rarely will advise to run. And the only time I think that we should is if we physically are incapable. 8 officers against the full might of Babylon is not going to end positively for anyone. That's a fact. 30, we should at least be able to think of something if all other options are exhausted.
Yeah. Okay. So I agree. Here's the thing with New Babylon, right? Right now, New Babylon is it's a stronghold. I'm going to say this because I think that fighting, like going and trying to apprehend people, at least in shift 1, inside of Babylon is harder than dealing with members of the besties. And the reason is they have a literal fortress, and they always have a guy in a watchtower that has bulletproof railings with a fucking musket sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the last time we pushed in, they had 4 of those, not just 1. They had 4 separate towers.
The thing is, if we could safely do it and come up with a tactical way to get in there and do everything, like I'm all for it. If we can't, then what we need to do, and this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. I want if people are coming, if this is kind of like the energy we're receiving from New Babylon, then the people that are the aggressors in New Babylon and are coming out and then walking around all nilly-willy, like they need to be apprehended. We need to get warrants out for these people. We need to get them. We need to treat them as if, fuck. Like, I'll bring up the besties again. If the besties did some fucking crazy shit and then ran back to their block, we should be going after them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pursue it.
And we do.
Right, but the thing is,
but we do it.
Right, but we don't necessarily immediately push into their block and apprehend them. We wait to catch them out doing shit, and it needs to be the same shit with New Babylon. Like, I know. Yeah, go ahead.
I think we should start doing things. If there's these consistent aggressors in Babylon, and the ones that names I'll think of, Speedy, right? That's a target right there. These people, if we aren't going to be able to apprehend them every day of the week, given time of day, officers on duty, the semantics like that, these people should be getting slapped with 30-day warrants. And people should be making sure that they're extended so that we can get to the end point of actually punishing them.
Next point. We actually talked about this. So legislation states that we could put warrants up for 30 days. The MDT defaults to 3 days. So what we want to do is we want to do some kind of, we got to run this by Rhodes and Viv. We want to do like a 3-7-14 sort of thing, where if it's like a violent felony, if it's just a fucking traffic extension, then or a traffic
evading, whatever.
Yeah, it's 3 days. Up it from violent felony to 7 days. Like, let's say a bank, and then if it's like OIS or it's more serious, I think we automatically it needs to be 14 days. Command has to approve this. We're working out the kinks right now, but I totally agree with you.
I think this again gives a ramp for TRT if you have a 14-day warrant where you can then put together and it's not closed to TRT only. You can actually have warrant apprehensions where you can have attack plan. To your point, if you need to go into Babylon and then it fits with the SOPs and stuff that you have as far as the bank trunk holdouts, or if you need something bigger, you can start doing shit like that. You can deploy a unit because now you have more time to operate and coordinate that.
Yeah, the 3-day warrant is kind of dog shit when it comes to mass OAS and trying to get TRT to chase them.
Yeah.
I don't want
most of the time they get extended anyway, right? It's just silly.
Well, the judges will extend it for 72 hours and nothing more.
we don't need we don't need to ask for the DOJ. The legislation says 30 days. So by us initially issuing it and then fucking extending it, like we're opening ourselves up to failure. So off the rip, it should just be 14 days.
Yeah, they should be upped. Yes, I'm 100% on that. If you're doing high level violent crime without consequences, specifically like these high level groups, they should be being targeted and treated as high level targets. 14-day warrant. Because we don't have means to even approach them every day of the week. So 4 out of those 14 days, we might be busy. Like it might be physically impossible for them to be met with consequences. That's just basic.
The other thing I think we all need to take into account is that at different times of the day, we deal with different people. So we have a different group. I'll just use New Babylon as examples. We've got Benji and we've got Lizard. We've got those guys that are out there. We very rarely will deal with Clark, so we're dealing with a different set of people. We're dealing with a smaller amount of people, whereas our cop force in Shift 2 is pretty strong. So for us, the only reason we have gone in there is when they are absolute stupid idiots and run home. And we catch them running home.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that every time has to adjust to the different groups and the sizes.
Right. Which is kind of like, go ahead, Rosner.
Yeah, I think this is where this started off. There was an execution on the beach in front of New Babylon. There was only 8 of them in there, and we ran in with 15. I think it was about 15 units or 15 officers.
It was 15.
Yeah, it's 15. Well, Knight made that. As soon as Knight made that, all of us were there. Ruby, were you there?
Yeah, Ruby was
yeah,
there,
all of us were there. I think so. The thing is after I saw that, like I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this, and I typed this all up, and high command collectively came up with the ideas, and then we're putting it forth. It's like, hey, if it worked for them, and the other thing is like, I mean, I'm guilty of this too. It's like, how often, actually, I'm not going to speak on behalf of you guys, but I can't tell you how many times I feel like I bash my head against the wall and I do it to myself, and then I fucking bitch about it without changing anything. So I think collectively we're all agreeing that something has to change. So why not go for it?
It's good. I like it.
I'll throw this out there. I think that when we move into these high-level decision makings where bodies and people are on the line, if you have to sit and think for an hour how to approach it, then I think either your thought process is flawed or you're trying to solve an impossible problem. I've tried to teach people and empower them for when we face these holdouts, for lack of a better word, whether it be Babylon or a roof or whatever, if you can't think of a way to approach it within 15 minutes of having all of the pieces ready, potentially it's not possible, right? Maybe it's not possible for you that day and it's possible for someone at a different time, but I absolutely bust my balls making sure that we get these scenes to a decision and execution. And I'll throw it out there too. Shift 2 at full strength against Babylon at their full strength. I'm not sure if I know how I would approach it. It's fucking hard. I cannot for the life of me say that I can guarantee get that done. Even giving us success on other people at other times, it's difficult. It's really a hard thing to solve.
It's
and
a
that's not a
flip
shifting.
of assaulting a weak point and then praying to God you get the high ground. It's tough.
It's not that the Babylon at their full strength as an entity is not a shift thing. What it is making sure that we approach it in a way that they can reach and face consequences. Because it's not us better than them.
Yeah, Shift 1 is fucking like right after the storm. I mean, it is fucking packed in New Babylon. I want to say there's just as many, if not more people. There's about equal amount of people inside of New Babylon. So if we go in there, I mean, it's a fucking meat grinder. Even when we went in there before the storm today, it was, I don't know, 10 of us, 10, 12 of us, and there were an equal amount of New Babylonians, and it was the same shit. Watchtower, fucking musket, just laying us out. So I mean, it's hard, and I don't know. At this point, it's reading each situation uniquely. I think the big thing for me is like if they want to do fuck shit and then they come out with warrants unmasked and do the shit they're doing, like I'm gonna go fucking hard on them.
Yeah, I agree.
I know that I said this to, I can't remember who the previous sheriff was before, I said it to Frost. Frost. I said to Frost, why don't you talk to the mayor? I mean, it's in Blaine County. It's illegal stuff has been, you know, why aren't we hitting this from several angles?
That's
from New
already
Babylon?
in the works.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the next mayor to come in to actually get the legislation. Essentially, we're going to speak to the DOJ and the mayor's office, Blaine County Mayor's office, and get approval to tear down anything that's not inside or surrounding Stab City, because they are building stuff outside of it, so tear it down. They have no legal reason to do it. I know this isn't a state with planning permission, but if they're claiming Stab City is their area, they shouldn't be building anything outside of it.
The only other group that I know that has built anything is it the Raiders on the back of South Arsenal?
Ravens. Yeah, mutiny.
Ravens.
Ravens on mutiny.
Yeah. But it's not impenetrable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a gate.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so that's a tough one, because for me with the New Babylonians, like I'm like, fuck it, like they kind of are separating themselves from society because they're happier there,
Yeah.
and if they want to do all that, great, and if they want to have their little island, great. But I think like today, they're basically telling me not to be on the toll booth, and that's their area, so they're starting to expand. Which I think I was talking to Knight about this earlier, and he's like, hey, you know what? Like we need documentation of all of this, because I mean, Rosner brought it up too. It's like, you know, they're essentially expanding and claiming that it's their territory, which can be perceived as treason. But
yes.
So we need where I'm basically making documentation on everything that's going on with me, at least. I'm gonna try to go through and see if I can find other shit.
Yeah, there is two prongs that like, not only with tackling them hard as we've discussed now in the command meeting and high command meeting before this with our deputies, but there is investigatory methods that are going into this as well. Like, we're not just gonna, what do they call it, February 18th? I'm not just gonna run in there and try and tear down the place by shooting M4s into the fucking structures and hoping it all collapses. There is a concerted effort. There's constant crime happening there. Do the investigatory work. Find out what the crime is and fucking hit it hard. Same as we would treat any other gang.
If you want my 2 cents, I've been plotting, right, thinking of a way that we can actually serve something to them that's more than the months in prison. There's the stockpiling stuff. There's all these things going on, documentation. Build a case on these people. Let the ones that run rampant every day get their 14-day warrants. And one day soon, given collaboration with the mayor and both all departments, et cetera, there'll be a day when there's a case on someone, there's warrants on the violent members, and what we can do is schedule a time and a day where it's more than likely that those people will be present, and we will set up and do, instead of a half-hearted, or we're going in there because we chase them and we're responding what we can, set up a day where we take the place down, figuratively, right? Yes. Where we show up with 9 warrants on all the violent members, with a murder case on one person for the execution at the beach, with stockpiling on this person, and we go in there with our best foot forward, with a solid plan, and we walk through the door, and if we actually get the scene clear and detain them, these people will face consequences. There's going to be discussion of aiding and abetting for, there's a whole branch of things where hypothetically we could get 10 of them in prison for 10 years. The leader's in prison for 5 years, something. Because this responding day to day will yield us nothing but, like Peter said, hitting your head against a brick wall. Day-to-day responses are not enough to deal with them. It needs to be unified, planned, and stacked up.
I think you could actually build on that, Key. So I think you could do it. I don't think you're wrong. I think you're right. But I think even with the day-to-day stuff, like, they're getting charged for some shit. Like some of them, like last week, I witnessed one of them, like there was a marshal that was shot down, and then people seen running from the area. Then they evaded and they were cut loose. You know what I mean? They were brought down to MRPD and cut loose. And I think there's, like I said, there's kitty gloves that are dealt with them. But essentially, if you get enough charges on them on the day-to-day shit, what that could lead to is investigative subpoenas, search warrants. And what I'm trying to say is, building off what you're saying, is there could be times when we finally do get something, and one by one we could start sending them up, and then slowly pick out. I mean, it sounds malicious, but for the people that are violent criminals or are committing these crimes or fucking selling guns or whatever they're fucking doing, we could slowly pick them off and fucking cut off their supplies.
Yeah,
so.
no, it's an abstract problem where, given the nature of our profession, a lot of the time things escalate into traffic stop, they flee, and in Babylon's case, they go to Babylon, and the only way to walk through that gate is with violence. So we're forced to always resort to violence, which isn't always feasible. So what we need to do is just make sure that we're maximizing all of these smaller portions. Traffic stop, why are they fleeing? What do they have in the van? We saw these people earlier at a meet where we're presuming they're selling guns. Then we traffic stopped them, then they fled. That's a report, documented, names, license plates, investigative report. Then the next day or 3 days later, same person, different spot. Like, you build up these things, and like you said, yeah, we catch one of them on one day, they're gone for 5 years, investigative hold, whatever. And then the next day we have the 9 warrants, and we can slowly piece them apart. Because if we go in there like we did the other day, all of us here, and we get what we came for, they committed a crime and now they did the time, it doesn't do anything to the overall, like, it doesn't change. Like, they serve the time and they go straight back to Babylon as soon as they're out. We need to do something or things that will cause them to have to reshuffle. And for lack of being able to raid properties of a gang like Hydra and take what they have and charge them for it on the docket, these people don't really have properties. They have possessions and a location and time that they can serve in prison. Fines don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's a difficult and abstract problem, and the only way is to hit them from every angle possible, and be ready to deal with one day being 30 officers going against the full might of Babylon. That's how it'll end up. It's guaranteed that there will be a day where that's our only choice, and we're just going to have to make sure that we figure out a plan to go in there and get what we want done.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it sounds like we're all on the same page. We just want to see it happen. Which, I mean, I think the other thing is I know for shift 1, again, I don't know how your shift is. One of the things I'm seeing is kind of like a lack in police work. Like, people show up to scenes, like, they're not taken seriously. I mean, banks, for example, one of the things that drives me absolutely fucking crazy is if somebody comes, let's say like I'm a robber, right? I'm robbing a bank. I got a hostage, and I'm like, the cops are like, come outside and put the hostage to the right. Everybody immediately kind of like mounts up. And they
no firearms out.
Yeah,
and they don't have their weapons. They're not being held. And I'm waiting for the day an individual comes out and just fucking pieces up every single cop in their car. It's like a goddamn death trap. I mean, also, just overall, I guess work on scenes is a big issue I'm seeing. Again, I don't know how it is in this shift. I'm not.
I
you
think,
guys under the bus or
like
anything.
we were saying before, everything comes in ebbs and flows. Like right now, for the last 2 weeks, nothing but gang shootouts. I would say that's what we deal with the most. You've got your banks, they have, you've got your bank trucks, but we are dealing with moving gang-related shootings every night, every single night. I think it just comes and goes, and you've got to be prepared for everything. In regard to New Babylon, the only group that I know that successfully have taken down New Babylon, and they told me how they did it, was the clowns. And this is when they went there for a holiday, and then Chatterbox was exiled. So he got a bunch of clowns together, and he told me exactly how they took them down, and how they took, as soon as you take the towers, then you've got their towers. So
good luck getting in that tower. I mean, unless you're already on the inside, good luck getting in that tower.
Well, and that's kind of to the point. That's actually what I was thinking about what Key was saying. When you have a set of them, it's not negotiation. It's not calling them, telling them that they're on the way. It's getting in there, surprising them,
right,
and just going in and apprehending and taking control of those towers immediately. It's having Air One drop someone, all that. You know what I mean?
The hard thing is you have a lot of people in there. I understand. I don't want to assume everyone in New Babylon is like a fucking criminal. You know what I mean? So I think there's people that are in there and they're trying to live a civilian life. And you go in there for shift 1. I tried to call, which was whatever. We ended up getting gunned down, but I don't know.
I think the difference is the clowns don't go in clown cars with lights and sirens. They just run in, right? And they don't know they're there, because then the New Babylon, they're not everywhere all the time.
Yep.
So that's the difference. Like you were saying, if we had 4 warrants that needed to be done, that would be different. Why would we go in lights and sirens blaring? That gives them enough time to get on the towers.
Yeah, you just hit them. You take control of the towers before that. And it's not that you're opening fire, you're just taking control. Just execute before even talking with them. You don't give them the heads up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's a whole technical discussion that should be had about actually how you breach and how you deal with an entry when dealing with an entry.
The thing is I think that there's a lot of different reasons that we would be going in, and not all of them are met with the same. I can see there being a day where we, without warning, scuba some officers in, and we get on top of that tower where they have the microphone, and we announce, we are here for X, Y, and Z. Anybody that does, do you know what I mean? Like we can work, but under no circumstances on any day of the week are we parachuting over a tower and indiscriminately shooting people.
No.
I just think that
those
type of discussions are going to be the inevitability when we need to go there. But I would prefer if we could discuss and think of some type of solution. And we've tried. It sounds like Peters has tried too. I wanted to secure cars. I called them. They shot us. There's a way where we can try to get to that outcome and be ready for them to say no, and we're already ready to respond. It's tough. We're thinking about crazy hypothetical stacking here.
True.
Yeah, so it's is there anything else we need to talk about, Rosner? So we're not taking up all your...
I think we're starting to derail a little bit from the original point.
Okay, so bank trucks. I guess just overall quality of policing, want to make sure that's up to standard is what we talked about. And then also we're waiting for airlifting. Details TBD.
I thought that was announced like a year ago.
It was, but I feel like it always changes. Oh, you know what the other thing is that we need to talk about? I don't know if you guys have an issue with this, but people writing reports, like they're like, oh, I got shot down. I don't have to write a report.
What?
Yeah, to me it's
Also, I mean, people get shot down, they could still process people. I mean, obviously that's not,
not preferred, but
it's not preferred, but they still need to be able to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a final straw, like we're stretched thin, like we have no choice,
Yes.
Right,
so you guys are good on that. All right.
Yeah, and statements too, I'll write a whole pursuit statement from what I recall, and then Alan Key climbed the ladder and was unconscious shortly after, right? Like that's my statements. Are we? I'm assuming we are for now on. Like that bank truck SOPs, that's in effect as of today. Now,
not yet. I'm gonna put it back to high command. The thing is, I'm just waiting for Viv. I think in the past, when I was the ASK chief, there was a lot of conflict and confrontation, which I love, but not everybody loves it. So I'm trying to handle everything diplomatically and make sure that all of high command is on the same page before we go ahead and push it.
Yeah, understood.
Cool.
For us, like just to confirm, that's more than fine. I'm not bothered. I think that's a good step in the direction of giving people an avenue to want to do something while then not forcing people to suffer through 6 consecutive hours of the same thing over and over again.
Good shit.
Got it with the MTT in my hand.
Easy.
Yeah, very pleased.
Okay. Sweet. All right. Yeah, that's it. Anything you guys need from us?
I'm going to be talking to Vivian Rhodes, but I think a lot of us are not going to be replying to certain reports that are being put up lately.
The Fred shit.
We're just not going to bother.
I don't really
just so you guys know.
Can I be? I think a lot of people are taking that personally. He's literally saying that he wants to hire more ex-drug addict jocks and fire all the nerds.
Okay.
It's not that serious. I think people are taking it to a whole nother level, but I mean, fuck it. Like, you shouldn't be required to respond to it. I think you're 100% right. If you don't want to deal with Pred's bullshit, just
we'll reply to actual command reports, if you know what I mean, when needed.
Yeah, that's your guys' department. I'm basically just trying to stand up for my deputies, and it's the same shit. Like, listen, it's Pred in the ODP. If they want to do their fuckery, like, that's cool. Not everyone has to subscribe to it at the same time.
Yeah, we asked them to leave our interviews today.
Yeah, wait, they were in here for interviews?
They tried.
They snuck in.
They tried.
Why would they? Oh, they have their own fucking department.
Because they're ODPD.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it has nothing to do with their department.
We know.
Did you see what I wrote? Did you see what I wrote in the command report?
Which one? There's so many.
I did. There's a few that you're going back and forth on.
I left some comments, but I didn't save them. I'm really upset. I'm not going to put them in again.
I don't think. Yeah, I can't remember. I think I just said that they were more concerned about bitching about LSPD than actually doing any police work.
I mean, we don't see them at night in shift 2. See them at the maybe a little bit at the beginning of shift 2. But
well, they're starting to hire now, so get ready.
Great.
I've seen some of the lineup. Yeah. They're multiplying.
I think we're okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's time for the OPD to start acting like police instead of taking low-level criminals and human trafficking them for their gift shop. The 2 deputies you have named have done more work than your entire department. All DPD does is play victim and bitch about the LSPD. Oh, there's more.
I'm sure our chief and assistant chief will hit back. I'm sure they will.
I just called him up and complained about how Carmine looks like a nerd who hasn't done any steroids.
Wait, Rhodes responded, your concerns have been mentally noted by the chief of police. I'm a little upset with Jenna Mustard. She broke the format for this report. How the hell are you supposed to have serious discussions in these careers?
Whoa. Who's having to go with... Whoa. Hold on. Who's having to go with Jenna Mustard?
Oh, her statement's not in there.
All right. Well, if there's anything else, I'm going to get out there. It was a pleasure. Glad we're all on the same page.
All right. God bless.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.